Hey yo, it's time to roar, get loud, let's ignite. Jeremy B in the house, we keeping it tight. Every weekday at 11, we ready to ride. Lions Talk Live, come and join the pride. Waking up early, it's that morning grind. Tune in to the show, leave the troubles behind. Jeremy B's the king, with the voice like thunder. Every word he spits, it's a lyrical wonder. Got the lions around, sharp and fierce. When we hear one pride, you can't help but feel your heart pierce. Talking all the topics, keep it real, keep it raw. With a Lions mentality, we're ready for the roar. One pride, it feels right. Jeremy B bringing the heat, morning light. Every weekday at 11, we taking flight. Lions Talk Alive, yeah, we ready to bite. One pride, hear us loud. Jeremy's in the zone, making us proud.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
What up, though? It is Lions Talk with Smoke and Jeremy B. How are you this morning? Let's get those comments going live. 7 people watching right off the rip. Love it. Well, this topics in front of me. Harbaugh signs with the Giants an hour after we closed the show, an hour after I just said it was his only in-person interview, and I didn't see him going to any other team. Steve Bauer, good to see you, brother. So I literally called it, and it happened. Closing on the highest paid coaching job with the New York Giants. I knew it would happen because Mara, the owner, said we have an open paycheck checkbook for him. It was the only in-person interview he did. He wasn't going to Tennessee for that interview. He was heading back home to Baltimore to do another Zoom interview. He wanted the Giants job. It was one of his 4 destinations he said would be a dream job. And the Giants took advantage of that opportunity. Good for them. I mean, think about it. Out of all the teams he named, they're the ones with a quarterback and a running back to build upon. They also got Malik Neighbors coming back, but I still think they need a valid number 2 next to him. Wandale Robinson's good, not great. He had a great season once Neighbors got hurt, but he's not that consistent of a player yet. Plus, he's been injured off and on throughout his career. McDaniels will interview with the Bucks tomorrow. So he did not take the head coaching job, and he is looking at being an OC. And I think he's making his final decision between 2 teams. Both teams, he said, have great offenses I'd love to coach. You know who those 2 teams are? The Bucks and Detroit. So there we go. Now on to some other news. Lions requested the Steelers to talk to offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. I don't like it. Like Arthur Smith. I don't like him, don't like him. Pete, who is the passing game coordinator for Clint Kubiak, Dave Kubiak, whatever his name is out there, or Dave Kubiak. He's all right. Evidently they do because they talk. But I know that Harbaugh wants more control off of who they draft, and because he probably wants to pick his guys off the O-line. So let's say Linderbaum, the Giants have a lot of money this year, so let's get that out there. Linderbaum doesn't sign with the Ravens. I think he will choose to go to the Giants before he comes here. Woody Bach, great to see you, my friend. So Dan Orlovsky, after the assistant the other day on the Pat McAfee Show, suggested that the Lions should talk to Dan Orlovsky, Pat reached out to him and interviewed him yesterday. His quote was, I love Detroit. I love the Lions organization. I would love to be the offensive coordinator. And we have always said those who can't play coach. His analysis has been spot on. He actually loves Jared Goff. He talks well about him. Grandma Chase. So if one of these big name OCs doesn't come here and we have to go with the first time OC, what do you think about taking Dan Orlovsky over Jacob Peets or T. Martin, who have just been passing game coordinators? I mean, out of the OCs, I want Mike McDaniel or Mike Kafka, the ones that we are talking to. I don't want Athur Smith because we've seen how he coached Atlanta and how bad that offense looked this year in Pittsburgh. I don't think he knows how to use running backs properly. And with the presser, and it sounded like we're getting rid of David Montgomery. Let's say Mike McDaniel does go to the Bucs. Would you trade David Montgomery down there and then sign their guy that's going to be a free agent in Rachaad White to fill his shoes? Eric Whitson says yes. Oh, stop, Steve. He wouldn't. Nobody would coach that. I'm just saying, because you could get Rachaad White probably for the same money as Montgomery. Rachaad White would want more from the Bucs because he has a history with them. And he's the same style of runner and younger. You could end up with two guys under 28 years old able to run the ball out of the backfield like that. He's a more in between the tackles, north-south power runner. Ricky! Let me get that soundboard turned on for you, brother. So, do you agree? If we cannot get Mike McDaniel or Mike Kafka out of the OCs that we have, because the other two I want nothing to do with. I don't want Todd Monken. He hasn't done well with the Ravens. He does not utilize the run game properly. I don't want Greg Roman from the Chargers. And the ones we got interviews with that are actual head coaches with OC thing is Mike Kafka, the interim head coach of the Giants last year, who actually did get better offensively with or without Jackson Dart in the lineup, and they already didn't have Cam Scatteraboo. They got better offensively when Dable was fired because Kafka was able to call the offense he wanted. The defense was the problem in the fourth quarter. Good Lord, that team was snake bit. Or Mike McDaniel. Those are the two that I want out of everybody. Or, minor experience at head coach for Kafka. Much better OC. So if you don't get either one of those, smoking dead, also known as Crazy Ken the DJ. Good to see you, Dad. So if we can't get Mike McDaniel, let's say he takes the Bucs job, and we can't get Mike Kafka, he doesn't want to be an offensive coordinator. Well, we requested it. It hasn't been set a day. I don't like Athur Smith. I think he's a trash OC. I think he's a trash head coach. I want him nowhere near our organization. But let's say we can't get either one of them. So you have to go with a first-time play caller. You have a guy that watches game film on every team, breaks it down very well on ESPN as an analyst. I don't think it would help them. I don't like the way Todd Monken ran the offensive side of the ball, and neither did the Ravens. They wanted to fire him, and John Harbaugh got in the way earlier in the season, as well as his DC. he got in front and said, "No, those are my guys. I'm keeping them all year." So that was a big reason why he was let go in Baltimore. It was not a problem between Lamar and Harbaugh. That's a fake news thing that was brought up by the media that they shot down repeatedly all season. Lamar and Harbaugh together talking about it. Harbaugh is a player's coach, but he has a little bit more of that disciplinary side of him. He saw that because when Tyler Luke missed the game-winning field goal, what did he do? Put his arm around him and said, "Dude, it happened." Because not everybody's Justin Tucker. They're not clutch. Let's face it. Tyler Luke is not Justin Tucker. So like I said, if we can't get Monken, Kafka, what's the deal with Dabo? He's a head case. I don't want him. I don't want him anywhere near us. He had one good season as a head coach, and everybody thinks he's the best thing since sliced bread. I wouldn't mind Orlovsky. Yeah, if you can't get the guys that have the experience at OC, for me, at the top, it would be Orlovsky, Pete, then Martin. But don't forget, Mike McDaniel technically isn't off the table because he hasn't taken a job yet. I think he wants to hear what the Buccaneers have to say Friday before he makes a decision. But if he waits too long, I wouldn't mind us bringing in Orlovsky for an interview. What is it going to hurt to talk to him and see what he thinks? Mike Eckel, Dave Eastman, Ricky Sagat, and Chada Ortega. Thank you for the like. Yeah, I hear you. I got the same thing going on. Mine is my allergies going rampant again in the house. I think he would be good. I think he'd be better than any of the other first-time OCs. But that's just me. If we can't get Mike Kafka or Mike McDaniel, those are my top two targets. For me, after him, it's Orlovsky, Pete, and Martin. That order. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to disagree with you. If it's a link, they don't allow it to be posted. I just think it's not a bad backup plan. I damn sure don't want Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith is in my list of interviews because it's just doing due diligence. But it's that time of the show, because I do have to work today. Did I do what I do every day at this time? It's mock draft time. Why? We're in Cancun. We're not in the playoffs. All three teams not in the playoffs right now from the NFC North have the exact same amount of wins and losses. Moonscar, long time no see, brother. But yes, it is that time. Oh yeah, he's our O-line coach. He's our O-line coach who says he wants to be here. He had interviews for OC jobs last year and turned them down. But if he was a good OC, we already would have promoted him and not brought in Morton. That's just my idea. Let's get her done. No. No. Ooh, no. All the great OTs are gone. Yeah, that's what we'll take. I think I'm gonna take that. Yeah. Mm. Yep. I called it last night. Hmm. I don't think he does. Yeah, I was going to come on Monday, but hit something on the highway that ripped my vapor canister off of my vehicle, so I had to tie it up at lunch with a 20 foot of electrical wire. Wow. That bullshit. MDE has entered the chat. Let's give him the music. So I'm doing the mock draft. I did trade back in the second round just to get an extra fourth round pick. Nobody offered anything really. I mean, the offers that were really good were all future picks. Nothing in this draft. We only have 8 picks. I'm trying to maximize our potential. Who? I know. I think he's going to probably take Todd Monken because he defended him against the ownership up there. Todd Monken and Arthur Smith are 2 targets I want nowhere near our offense, and that's just me. So let me get back to the draft here. I already took an edge in the first. Let's just say our target. Edge. OG. OT is soft safety. Yep. I thought so. Man. I love it. I love big safety. I'm going to look this guy up. $129. It right here. Offense. Let's see. Yeah, with just I didn't even get a chance to look at them. I want to see what they think. Oh God damn! Look at the size of that. No, nope, nope. So we got to start thinking about replacements for guys that are hurt. We're going to have to end up getting. I like the way this kid plays for Indiana. Oh, way back there. Yeah, Trey Zoom's gone. That'd be the next best one to me. Guy in here. Maybe it was 5'11", 227. There's a power runner. We got to start thinking like that. I know I didn't get Kendall Daniels. I didn't get the linebacker I wanted, but did get a safety. Did get a tight end. Did get a running back. Got 3 positions on the O-line. What up, though? Probably. Yes, I will be on Fire Up around 9:30 on my channel. I'll stream it live as I am a guest on the South Florida Tribune that I write for. Texas. Oh, okay. So there it is. We ended up with LT Overton, the safety, Logan Jones, Herder Smith, Deshaun Singleton, Buffo, Kawakowski, Campbell, and others. So that's my usual show anymore because there isn't a lot of news that is Lions based except for who we don't have yet and who we're gonna get and all that stuff. And until it happens, it really doesn't matter. Um, I'm just saying we haven't even asked Orlovsky to interview with us. I'm just saying he wants to be here. Why do Lions fans push off and hate on people that want to be here? It's like we're going back to WCF days. WCF, every time somebody said they wanted to be here as a coach, he didn't interview them. Dungy wanted to be here. Cowher wanted to be here. Rex Ryan wanted to be here. 3 guys that are great that never got interviewed. I don't want to go back to that era of not interviewing guys that want to be here. If a guy wants to be here, at least give him an interview. Hear what they have to say. They might have something good to say. They might actually make sense. It just boggles my mind that everybody's like, no. They want to be here. No. Bad players make great coaches. We've heard of those who can't play coach. Very rarely is a Hall of Famer turned football coach good. So I want to put that out there. Very rarely does that happen. Not like it used to. You know why? Because coaching has diversified over the years. It used to be the same type of coaches all the time. You have a great player retire. A couple of years later, he becomes a coach. He coaches a great team. They win championships. Boom, they retire. Now you got guys that are more strategic or more player oriented or more disciplinary. The disciplinarians are slowly disappearing. It is so good to see everybody here. Oh, that's Dale. I didn't recognize him when he changed the picture because I was like, man, already gone 73. Who is that? Yeah, they do pick. trigger PTSD. They also trigger PTSOLF, post-traumatic same old Lions fan. I just want us to focus on the future, not look on the past. I want to get out of that stigma of people that want to be here not getting interviewed. At least listen to them. What's it going to hurt? Is it going to hurt you to actually listen to somebody when they say they want to be here? Because I don't think so. If I thought that, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. Because you know what? This season was disappointing for our expectations. We didn't even hit my minimum. I thought we'd fall back to 10 wins and have a I said it, 10 to 13 wins. Nice. I like Trey Zune. Trey Zune's one of my favorite ones. I don't know the OT out of Wisconsin. Dominic Orange is decent. I like Dante Corleone better myself out of Cincinnati. The kid's got that type of heart. Logan Jones, probably the best center this draft. If you can't get him, the next option to me is Pat Coogan. I think Logan Jones is better than Pat Coogan, yes. No matter how much anybody will say differently. Dante Balfour out of Texas Tech, I did grab him. You know, I have been watching film. I've been expanding, so I'm not just targeting the same damn guy every play. But getting LT Overton in the first is probably huge for the Lions. Because, like I said, all four of those good tackles were gone. So we get LT Overton at edge, you know, the 6'5", 283-pound defensive lineman. Emmanuel McNeil Warren out of Toledo in the MAC. Logan Jones out of Iowa. Carter Smith, Indiana, the guy that protected Mendoza's blind side. Deshaun Singleton out of Nebraska. Big, hard-hitting safety. Dante Belfour, Texas Tech. Riley Nowakowski, tight end out of Indiana. Why? He uses his tight ends too. DJ Campbell out of Texas. And Chip Cheyenham, running back out of Toledo, because he's a short, compact runner with a big frame, 5'11" and 227. Because I have the feeling we're going to have to replace Mount. Oh, you're doing your, like I said, I'm Logan Jones or Pat Coogan. Jake Slaughter, he was awful against some teams for Florida. He's good, but he's not great. Yeah, I don't want to be a Michigan homer anymore. I'm done with doing that because we hardly ever target Michigan players. I don't know why. The Michigan player we should have targeted the 1 year was Mikey Sanders, and we didn't do it. I mean, granted, he went a couple picks before we traded up for Arnold, but it is what it is. I am not out on Arnold. I don't think he's a bust because weeks 1 through 4, he was a penalty magnet and everything else. You're welcome. It it makes you feel, the right trade, everything else. You can make something happen for your team, and it's fun to pretend you're a GM. We're all couch GMs here. I just do it because I watch game film. And you can do as many as you want. They don't charge you for it. It's great. I do too. Because week 5 on, he didn't give up a touchdown. He had 1 penalty. Didn't give up more than 50 yards in receiving to any wide receiver and a QBR under 60 for all quarterbacks he faced. Unfortunately, he got hurt. I think it was in that game we lost to Philly. Ended up needing the shoulder surgery. Ended up having to get it done again because they didn't get it all the way. And now he's going to be fine and back here by training camp. And I'm good with that because the shoulder surgeries, you come back from a little faster than knee or ankle. Straw was a shoulder too. He had his knee problem in college, got it fixed, missed the whole first year, missed this year with the shoulder surgery because he landed on it wrong because JMO truck sticked him. JMO. But JMO also put on 15 pounds in his upper body, and I said that was going to make a difference with him. And everybody was worried he'd be slower. He wasn't slower. He averaged more yards per catch. He had the same amount of touchdowns as last year and more yards and played more games. I think JMO's going to be fine. He had 100 more yards than last season. And less drops. Amon-Ra led the team in drops this year. 14. But at the same time, he led the team in targets, and he led the team in reception, and he led the team in yards. So when a guy gets targeted that much and he has a hurt hand, you got to expect drops because he was hurt. If he wants to go, we should let him go. So far, I haven't seen him physically say it, but the way Brad talked, it's looking that way. He said he'd make the decision after he actually talked to him in the exit interviews for the season. And if we do this, I say trade him to Tampa Bay so they don't have to sign Rachaad White and bring Rachaad White in. That's my suggestion. Because you could probably get Rachaad White for about the same amount of money as Montgomery. He's younger. He's a little quicker, but he's still a power runner like Montgomery. And you might even see them say, screw it. We'll just let Vaki and Sailors fight out for the power back spot. Because Vaki, even though he's not that big, he runs like a power runner. So there's all sorts of things we can do there. But at first, let's get the OC locked down because I want to see what type of OC we get. I do want to run first OC. And that's why I want McDaniel or Kafka. They're both run first OCs. Because look at what happened when Scadaboo went down. He got Tyrone Tacey going as soon as he was the interim head coach. And don't forget, Mike Kafka was an OC at a Super Bowl, calling plays. He was with the defensive head coach at the time. A Super Bowl winning team too. So, for me, it's McDaniel, Kafka, because those are the OCs with experience I like. The other two are just doing due diligence. They're available. Let's talk to them. I don't want Monken. I don't want Smith. Ashanti Beasley, good to see you, brother. Long time no see. Say something in the chat, brother. And Goff is not an elite QB, but he puts up elite numbers. And we can honestly say this year, he did it without an O-line. Because we didn't have the same O-line as we've had over the past. Who's that? Paul Jones? What? Oh, good to see you, brother. So we requested to talk to Athur Smith. I think that's due diligence. I think it's just to bring him in so we can talk to him. Know what you haven't seen ask for an interview? What position? DC. You know what that means? We're keeping Calvin Shepard. I see that one of the teams requested an interview with the 49ers for Robert Salah. I think it was the Titans. Paul Jones from NWA Wrestling. No, I'm a longtime fan of the show on Facebook. Oh, God. That's funny. Longtime fan. Paul Jones has been watching me since probably the beginning. Brent DeWitt's been watching me a long time. Had a hiatus because of something that was said and I didn't know was said. That's not my fault. I didn't mean to defend anybody that day. Brent Harpozzo's been with me forever. I wish Orlando Escarbano Jr. would pop into the YouTube chat again like he did earlier for 10 and 10. Yep, Harbaugh signed with the Giants exactly an hour after my NFL Roundtable talk. I'm going to make that short and put it up today because I literally said it around 10:50, 11 p.m. and that came out. Oh, I'm talking about it on the show. Yeah, you've been a fan since Vietnam. So have I, because technically I was alive during the Vietnam era because my dad served in it. And what, we pulled out in 75, right? That's the year I became a fan. 72 was when they started to exit, but we finally got all pulled out in 75, except for the POWs that we couldn't find and the MIAs. It is what it is. But it's that time where I get to say what I always love to say to everybody. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before, because that's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here. Much love to everybody in the chat. We will see you tomorrow where it's me, BA, and whoever else wants to join us, because I don't mind that one. I like having the guests on that show. Wow. You guys are letting, oh, that's right. You guys are out of the playoffs. I forgot. That's right. Because the Packers have the same record, wins and loss wise, as Minnesota and Detroit. 9-8. Go Pack, go to Cancun. And tomorrow we're going to talk about the playoffs coming up, those games. I'm going to break that down. We're going to break down what's going on with the OC search for Detroit. We're going to break down who leaves, who stays with every team. And I think Hafley leaving will hurt the Packers. I think the injuries are why his defense looked bad this year. Because he looked great last year with that defense. It was a huge fall off, just like ours. Ours was a little different. It was a combination of injuries and coaching change, and I admit it. Calvin Shepard wasn't the linebackers coach. Sean Dion Hamilton was. 3 guys regressed, and 1 stood up and stood proud. Derek Barnes looked less. Alex Anzalone looked less. Malcolm Rodriguez looked less. Trevor Nowoski looked the same. He looked like a rotational player that can play some snaps at linebacker. So have a great day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow, noon. And it will be an hour or longer show because I can.
Turn it up, it's that time again. Jeremy B. Lines, he's your best friend. Every weekday, Evan, you know the vibe. He's shouting one ride with that rocket drive. Rolling up the scene, light up that fire. Jeremy's in the booth, taking us higher. With a grin and a laugh, he's got the crowd in a blaze. Smoking out the haters in a rock star haze. The stories that inspire and riffs that will ignite. When one pride echoes, everything feels right. Jeremy Beelan, every day at 11. Yelling 1P ride like we're in rock heaven.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.